Hello and welcome to AAMI Stadium. It is the final round of the NAB Challenge, and in fact, it is the last AFL sanctioned game here at AAMI Stadium. It is up between the Port Adelaide Power and the Crows, looking to fight it out and really go into the season on a turn with a little bit of momentum behind them. Let's say hello and welcome to one of South Australia's greatest players ever. In fact, he calls himself the greatest crow ever, Mark Rashuda. Welcome, Roo, anyway.
Thanks, Derm. Yeah, it's going to be a cracker of a game today. They get serious in the last round of the NAB Challenge, and certainly that's what both sides will be doing. Phil Walsh hasn't quite been satisfactory with the way the Crows are going about it, but Port Adelaide, on the other hand, as well, have been a bit ordinary last week when they played all their kids.
I might just ask you, he hasn't been satisfactory or he hasn't been satisfied? It sounds like you're about to sack the new coach through.
He hasn't been satisfied, Derm.
OK, let's have a look at his Crows team as they put them out on paper.
It looks pretty good today. Cheney in the back pocket. He'll play as the third tall. Hardigan's got another opportunity today to...
good size, isn't he?
Oh, he's a big boy. Don't worry about that. He's certainly size is not the worry there. Tarley has been rock solid. And then you got Crouch in the middle, one of the young fellas who really has to take a step up this year. And guys like Ellis Yeoman and Laird and Lyons will continue to get opportunities to impress for a shot in round one.
We have a look at the way they've gone about it in the past couple of years. So they've got 140 goals between four goal kickers: Eddie Betts, Josh Jenkins, Podsy Adley, and Big Tex, who takes the captaincy role here. There's no problem scoring.
No, absolutely not. There's plenty of goals to be kicked there, and Betts and Jenkins and Walker should be better again this year, Derm, because last year Tex was coming back from a reconstruction, so he's only feeling his way. Jenkins is really only a new boy in the game, coming from a basketball background, and you know, small forwards, they need to know what their big fellas are doing to be able to be predictable, to know where to run. So I expect the forward line to be pretty solid this year.
Even in practice matches, there's no such thing as a dead rubber between these two, is there?
Absolutely no. There's always a bit of tension between the Crows and Port Adelaide, so today it will be absolutely no different at all.
Well, the Crows coach has joined us, Philip Walsh. Welcome, Philip.
Thanks, Dermy. Good to be here, mate.
Good luck as you go into it. Are you mad, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, a lot of people call me a weirdo, so we're about to see.
Now, you gave the kids a shot in round one of the NAB Challenge. Round 2 and 3, you said you're going to go full throttle. Is this as strong as you can put out, injuries withstanding?
Oh, we've probably got maybe Jens to come back into this team, but other than that, it's probably as strong as we're going to be. Tomo's a chance for round one, but he hasn't had any match practice.
The attack's been good, Walshy, last year, but the defence was the area that needed tightening up. How's the team defence looking so far after the first two games?
Yeah, we probably were really good for 3 quarters against North, and then Clark got hold of us a little bit last week, so that's what we'll be looking for today. Hopefully all the guys will defend and we can make sure the ball doesn't get down there too quick.
Yep.
Well, should we thank you? We know you've got a job to do with the Crows. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys.
Good on you, Walshy.
There you go, Roo. You appointed him. You were very kind to him then too, weren't you? Hey, good man. Good luck to him. Okie doke. Let's find out the odds for today, and we go to Roger Aldridge from ladbrokes.com.au. We'll do that in a second as Roger comes up, and we just had a look at the Port Adelaide team. Roger.
Season instalment of the Showdown. The big question being just how much of a hand will each side want to show their arch rival before the season proper. And if you're looking ahead to then, the markets for round one are up now, as are our premiership and various medal markets. Simply head over to ladbrokes.com.au to check them out. But remember, gamble responsibly. Derm, back to you.
Thank you very much, Roger. I got that one timed right. OK, we're here at AAMI Stadium. We're looking at the Power as they're about to take on the Adelaide Crows. Dwayne Russell will pick up the call after the break.
Beautiful blue skies over AAMI Stadium this afternoon for this round 3 NAB Challenge clash between the Adelaide Crows and Port Adelaide. You can see the Actron Air weather forecast. Nice 26-degree day expected. Port Adelaide getting ready. We're in the teal this afternoon in the Showdown light as we welcome one of our heavyweights, 3-time premiership star, joining us from the boundary again. Cameron Mooney, welcome to you, Cam.
Dwayne, beautiful sunny afternoon here in Adelaide, let me tell you, absolute cracking day. Really looking forward to seeing what Port Adelaide dish up today. I was down at Albury last week and they were really disappointing. We know they've got their midfielders back in today, and that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing. Their big name midfielders back through the middle, but it's how deep this midfield group run, and we'll look at that a little bit more at half time. But really looking forward to seeing Boat, Gray, Wines, in particular, just saw him run off the ground before. If he's not a man mountain, then I've never seen one before. He is absolutely huge. He's had a massive pre-season. He's running the house down. He's built like an absolute brick at the moment. So can't wait to see him, boys, and looking forward to this one.
Thanks, Burns. And it will be interesting to see how they take it this afternoon. There has been a lot of talk about the NAB Challenge 2015, the format, the fact every team plays 3 games. There's no premiership, there's no grand final, there's no winner of the NAB Challenge this year. But I think the general consensus from the round 3 games, Mark Rasciuto, is that teams have taken the round 3 games extremely seriously because their last major hit out before round 1.
Absolutely, Dwayne. And you remember, it wasn't long ago, was probably even last year, was it? They played 4 games, and they always used to get really hard in the 3rd and the 4th. But this year, with only 3, it's even more important for a full dress rehearsal today in round 3. So they'll be going as hard as they can today. Don't worry about that. And pretty full strength sides from both teams. The Crows have only got a couple out, and Port probably, well, at least 2 out of Hartlett, Wingard, Ryder and Monfrey should be available in round 1, you would have thought. So this will be a good game today. Good test for the Crows, who have been a bit patchy, and Port Adelaide, they just look absolutely cherry ripe in my eyes to have a crack at winning a flag.
First showdown not until round 5. It's an Adelaide Crows home game, that first showdown, and I think you're planning to set a new Adelaide Oval record in that one, Mark. They're planning some big pre-game entertainment. Should be a massive game. Adelaide Crows having the first home game against Port Adelaide this year, and Adelaide Crows have the first Adelaide Oval game this year. Tickets on sale for that right now against North Melbourne, and Port Adelaide's first game, round 1 against Fremantle. That's at Patterson Stadium. So Port Adelaide hoping to fine-tune themselves for that. Toss of the coin. Taylor Walker, captain of the Adelaide Crows, against Travis Boak, and that was a big announcement as well over the summer.
Yep, new coach, new CEO, new captain, so a fair bit of change at the Adelaide Football Club. But Tex is a real leader of men on and off the field, so for Phil Walsh to get Tex in the job was a big move, but I think it was a good move. Nothing against Nathan Van Berlo. He has been a great captain as well, but he's coming back from an Achilles injury, didn't play footy at all last year. I think it's a great thing for Nathan just to be able to concentrate on getting his form right to give something to the side. And I think Tex will be comfortable with it. Hopefully the side can get off to a good start as well, and that'll make his job easy. But as I said, a very natural leader on and off the field, and I think he'll turn out to be a great captain for the footy club.
Players moving to positions slowly. Speaking of the Crows, you've got your big Hall of Fame night as well, April 29. That should be a massive night. You're announcing the first inductees into the Hall of Fame. Who will be first in? Will you be first in to that, or Modra?
Well, I think he's known as the Messiah, isn't he, Malcolm?
Oh, right,
I think he would be first in. But look, 25-year anniversary this year, the Crows in their short history. So it is a significant year, and hopefully that can push the players on to winning a few more games as well.
It should be a massive night, April 29. All right, let's get this one underway. Showdown light at AAMI Stadium. Blast from the past to be back here, and this is the last time you'll ever see AFL footy here. Underway, Lobie down to Gray. Straight to Ebert, on 50, bang!
Oh.
And there you go, it's the showdown. No one's taking a backward step between these two.
He might have been lucky it was only Rory Laird coming at him there, because I think he was as open as you get on a footy field there, Brad Ebert. He's up and about, which is great news for him, because that could have been lights out.
That's throat in the mouth stuff for any coach, isn't it? Rug just about going into round 1.
And Butcher. Well, there's been a lot spoken about John Butcher's career, up and down nature of it, his kicking. One expects he'll kick it from here.
I wouldn't put it in ink, Dwayne, but hopefully he can. He deserves it. Look, he's had a great pre-season. He's super fit. He gets hold of the ball well. It is the kicking that's the problem.
32 goals for the Magpies last year. Kept himself in good form, and Port get a good start.
I think confidence is as important as anything for him, Dwayne. I think he battles a few demons in the mind, like a lot of blokes do when they're in the forward line, because apparently he kicks them at training. There's Brad Ebert just copping it. It wasn't too bad at all, really, but he does battle it in the mind with the goal-kicking Johnny Butcher. So an early goal could be exactly what he needs to have a big afternoon and try and shore up a spot in round 1.
He had meningitis last year as well. That knocked him around, John Butcher. Amazingly, has a career goal-kicking record of 33-14. So It sounds really good, but he either kicks the goal or clean misses.
There's a few in the out of bounds column.
That's right. They don't get necessarily recorded on those stats. Okay, clearance again. Gray. Boak. Straight down the middle. Butcher. Okay, a little further out.
Now, this is a good start by Johnny Butcher. Great start by the power in the midfield as well. Robbie Gray had a couple of touches already, and Travis Boak, the skipper, joining in there. Cole Chaney's getting a bit of an introduction into life as a defender for the Adelaide Crows, but it's pretty hard for a defender when the ball's coming down like that. But good start by Johnny Butcher.
See if he can kick it from here. Strikes it nicely. It wobbles, and it wobbles across the face.
You're very liberal with the nicely.
Oh, I like the fact he's got on his boots a nice orange line, a pink line, so he knows where to drop it, Dermot.
So does he go out before the game and put a pink line on the underside of the ball and match them up on the drop?
Geez, I tell you what, rewatching that ball drop from here, I don't think it's the little man on his shoulder. It's just the ball drop. That was just horrendous.
Not bad combo.
Carlisle with the fist. Wines.
Well roved.
It's it down just in time. Little 1-2 with Ollie Wines worked pretty well. It was Pittard giving it back to him. Ebert jumped on him.
Separate a metre, Sam.
Holding, Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide free.
Right, do it. Port Adelaide, we've done. Ollie Wines.
So Wines to take it.
Eddie out of the back. Play on. Touch ball.
Hard one to grab. Touched ball.
Is that ball flat?
Sam Gray, that's what Butcher's claiming. And held in there. You'd expect the umpire to toss this in the air.
Be pretty tough for Johnny Butcher to claim over his 5 or 6 seasons that the ball's been flat on every occasion, I'd imagine.
You're in good form early, Derm. Ball back in the air. Jacobs knocks it down.
Oh, good stuff.
Douglas tried to scramble it away. Lynch put his head down and tackled. Got it out. Ebert. Ellis Yeoman, he put his head down. Umpire said keep going. No free there. And this is a good contest at the moment. Sloane.
See, Dangerfield pushed off it there. Dangerfield's rested at half forward during that little foray, so we'll try and pick up.
They are out here. Taylor Walker has nothing but space. Dances inside, bangs it into space, gets plenty on it. Oh, boy, big Tex. It's a super goal from the captain.
Super goal. This is the furthest the fence is back behind the line of any ground we see in the AFL. He's put it into the seats from 55 out.
Before he did his knee a couple of years ago, he was joking around the club that his Broken Hill Football Club had to build another shed to put all the footies in a couple of years ago. So
look at this, look where it lands. And it's got the long angle on it. He's put it into the seats.
There's another bag of Sharons for Broken Hill, thanks to NAB.
Yeah, well summed up too. Didn't rush. A lot of players would think I've got to put the lady ears back there and just go for Broke to get in nice and close. But when you have that sort of range, he summed it up and caressed it.
He's getting close to the best ever player from Broken Hill as well. I know Dean Solomon's got claims to that as well, but he's up there, Tex.
He is. He's a superb player. So let's hope he gets full recovery on that knee. Just needs a little bit more agility to come back.
New dad Eddie Betts. Dangerfield, he sidesteps nicely and he gets plenty of boot on it. And just across the face. Eddie Betts has been at his wife's side for the last couple of days, Roo.
Yeah, had a little boy a couple of days ago called Billy Betts. So hopefully we can get 100 games out of Eddie before he hangs him up. We still haven't had a father-son at the Crows, so...
He's got 2-year-old son Lewis as well. Could be coming your way.
That'd be all right in the forward pockets.
Absolutely. Hope you're doing well. Anna as well. Cheerio to you. Did the hard work. Corns couldn't get on the end of that and try and run off. He'll be heading for game 300 in 2015 as well. What a career he's had, Kane Corns. 293 games to this point. Just keeps on keeping on. And was nearly gone a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Scrambled for by Lions. And good mark dropping back by Homsch. one of last year's most improved players in the competition. Good release kick.
That's where teams really make a great jump, isn't it? When they get somebody who come from second or third tier who becomes a bona fide starter week in, week out and does their job.
Not 15. Smith told to go.
Well, they got humps from GWS, boys. It was a great bit of trading. Port Adelaide's recruiting, like all the clubs up the top of the ladder, has been absolutely sensational the last few years.
Yeah, they used pick 28 and also got Jake Mead in that package. So 2 of them out there right now as part of that trade. Inside 50. Young's going to have to go. Dangerfield flies. Bet stays down. Broadbent clears it. Need stands under that. McKay stood under it. It did drift on them both. McKay put it to turf. Lynch. Douglas with one hand. Oh, Mitchell threw that away. Wearing the number 2 this year, Kane Mitchell. Changing numbers over summer from 37.
Looks like Dangerfield is a full-time forward for the last 6 or 7 minutes, which suggests that he's probably looking at playing a lot of this match up forward rather than swapping in and out of the centre square.
This is only for 6 for Ellis Yeoman. Even if he kicks it from outside the 50. And he doesn't really make it inside the 50. Good ploy, though. Got it to the top of the square. Jonas holds it in after Grigg leapt a little early. Another player to have changed numbers over the summer. Lewis Johnson's old 8.
Did you hear the umpires talk to each other? They're talking about the man on the mark where Ellis Yeoman kicked it into his face. He said, how much do you reckon that hurt?
Oh. Dangerfield doing what he always does. To pick the grass from his teeth again, as he always does. Lobe. Redden a late withdrawal. He was in the squad, so Lobe will ruck solo for most of the day again. Talia. Dangerfield, big fly. Pollock the crumb.
If he meant that, that's extraordinary.
Lynch gets it forward. Top of the square again. Plenty of players around it. Sloan. Flicked it out. Dangerfield again. Douglas, Jenkins. Douglas in the pocket. Post.
Yeah. That kick was... There's a big jump here.
Is Dangerfield going for a bit of a hanger? Not a bad landing. Could have been worse.
How clever was the little toe poke? If he meant that, Jared Pollock, he's a genius.
Pretty clever.
Jacobs.
Another bit of good recruiting, Pollock.
Absolutely. Best season of his career last year. Westhoff got it from Need, gives it back to Need. Wearing the 3. Flicks it back, Boak. To Butcher. Just the required 15.
3 metres, back here with me. Thanks, mate. Move it on, play on.
He's got Schultz forward to aim at. Just sits it up in the air. Not a great kick. Brown off hands. Ellis Yeoman. McKay. Should be coming back, though, Port, with the numbers. And Butcher, well, he drops the easiest mark attempt he had today. He's taken some big ones contested so far.
That's what he can do well. He's very good at marking the ball. So that's a real letdown in his stock and trade.
Good crowd in here as well at AAMI Stadium. Members in for free. They scan their membership tickets. That's a good thing to have in the NAB Challenge. Touch ball. Impey.
Clever.
White. You know he's got the speed. Ball didn't bounce for him. Now he uses the speed. Got through traffic. Need. Sees it thumped away.
Keep talking about good recruiting. Matty White last year, another one coming across from Richmond. He had a fantastic year. Just absolute raw speed adds to that side and breaks the lines through the middle of the ground. He was terrific.
Well, it's good coaching as well because they allowed him to use his natural attributes.
Eddie Betts lurking inside 50. Impey. Betts. They've continued their little battle. Jenkins gets it up right. Top of the square. Straight over the goal umpire's hat.
Well, after a bit of a shaky couple of first minutes by the Adelaide Crows where Port went down and had a couple of shots on goal. They've been pretty good since then. Let's have a look at this one. Good kick out. Impey could have taken the mark, was under pressure by Betts. Betts got it out to the open spot and Matty Wright just finished it off. So
if you choose to mark like that, you must mark it, or you got to put the ball to the boundary line on a spoil.
And he had a good year too, Impey. Good pick up by Port Adelaide, but he would have liked to caught that.
They've owned the footy for the last 5 minutes. Cam Mooney, you're at ground level. It just looks like the Crows are just finding a little bit more ball through between the 250 arcs.
Well, you just said at the moment, they're really playing that game in their half, but I was expecting, we see that all the time with Port, they get their numbers back, which forces the Adelaide Crows defenders to come up. We see goals just over the back, but they're lucky that they got one there in the end.
Gray. That was brilliant from the middle. Port Adelaide, that was out of the copybook. Slick hands, good knockdown, great finish.
Physical pressure, just forcing it forward, and then you get one of the team's best ball users. They didn't even win the hit out. Just gather, it's a scrubber ball, it's a half knock on, it's a little handball, another one. Really well done there. Just pressured the ball forward, just support numbers. Every time they're under pressure, he's got pressure, confronted by a player. Handball side on, he's confronted, and he runs away from his opponent. David McCain kicks the goal. Really good team play. Just support running.
On the best and fairest last year, Robbie Gray, All-Australian, Coaches Association Player of the Year award. He won that with a round of football still to be played.
He actually won the best and fairest by a country mile too, and Travis Boak had a sensational year.
Outstanding player that he's become. Took him a couple of seasons to get settled.
Travis Boak's on 5 possessions. Looks like Van Berlo, well, he's definitely picking him up at the bounce downs and the throw-ins. Has he got a run with roll, do you reckon, Roo?
Well, I wouldn't have picked it up before the game. I thought they might have let him play at half-back today, Van Berlo, and just try and get into the game back there. But, look, he has done a lot of tagging, and Sam Kerridge is not playing today, and he's been doing a bit of tagging. So maybe they've just got him to step up just in case Kerridge is not right for round 1.
Can Dangerfield kick it from here? Moggs Creek doesn't have a football club.
Well, he's going to have to let fly from 60 metres out. Might go close if he nails it.
He says send $500 worth to the Great Ocean Road Arch. Eddie Betts instead in the pocket.
Do you reckon he was aiming up Tex then, or Eddie just read it and thought, well, in case it flies long?
I'll give it to Eddie. Back him in.
Well, this in some ways is his pocket.
It is. It's the same. It's the northeast.
Yeah, it's the Adelaide Oval.
It's just no hill and scoreboard.
That's right.
But there's a scoreboard.
Well, it's his pocket. That's the bottom line.
Well, it is like a golfer. If you stand up there and there's a dog leg that goes to the right, and you fade it, you feel good. Some blokes actually swing the ball, if you're a right footer, left to right, and they feel pretty comfortable about that sort of pocket. And Eddie got a little bit of movement left to right here. Watch this. Oh, here's it. Watch this lead. I reckon it's for Tex. Think he's going to outsize him. If not, that's a miracle kick. You're going to back him in on the miracle pass?
Yeah, I'm going to back him in on the miracle pass.
Now, this one bends. See how he holds it. He tilts the ball, the nose of it to the outside. Kick it a bit flatter. They bend left to right. That's a good kick.
Kicked 51-22 last year, Eddie Betts. Speaking of good recruiting.
I reckon he gave away another 10 or 20. He's very, very unselfish, Eddie.
And great to have around the club, they tell me.
Yeah, great lad. Really good lad as well. And he's had a ripper of a pre-season by all reports. I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks 51 off.
Gray got it from Lobie. Out to Wines. Ellis Yeoman, who's playing for his life. He wants to be there round 1. And right now, you wouldn't think he's in their best 22. And he lays the tackle here. Still to come back in for Adelaide. Well, Matthew Yench not playing today, Will. James Podsiadly was on the list to play today.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. Not sure what's going on there, but he's certainly been an important part of the side since coming to Adelaide.
Scott Thompson, Sam Kerridge also not playing today. Back inside 50. Eddie Betts lurking. Taylor Walker gives him a shepherd. Yeah, it's not his pocket.
He's dangerous, Ed.
They're winning those balls in the middle of the ground. Apart from that centre-bounce clearance a couple ago for Port Adelaide, they're just winning those little scrap-up balls around the centre square. That's not.
Oh, Griggs got Impey. That's pretty close to ball.
Got to be.
It is ball.
And just for those who've joined the conversation late, the umpires put out a directive at the start of the NAB challenge. Several, not rule changes, but tightenings. And that is, if you make your first move to be an evasive one, they are going to deem that as prior opportunity. And that's a perfect example over there. He stops, he props, he thinks he's going to shimmy back on the inside, but he gets gobbled up, so it's holding the ball.
I like that change, Derm. I think it's a good change.
Mitch Grigg. We're in the 8 from 38. Doesn't slip it in.
This is an area that the Crows need to get better at. Their goal kicking is not up to AFL standard.
Jonas Boak caught, and that's ball as well. Gee, he threw that away as he was tackled.
Good tackling, good forward pressure.
Yeah, no prior opportunity according to the umpire, not clear in the tackle. Had he thrown it away, it would have been adjudicated holding the ball. Well, under the rules, it should have been.
This is great pressure from the Crows forward line. And they start a little bit of a Barney behind plate. Umpire, throw it straight in.
A Barney in the NAB Cup.
Yeah, just throw it. Well, there's no such thing as a dead rubber between these two teams. Don't want to miss round one either, though, do you?
Kane Corns having a chat to a few Crows.
You're dead right, Roo, and I couldn't agree with you more. But you like to inflict a little bit of mental damage as much as you can against your main adversary.
Sloan. She gets plenty on it. It's long. It's for 9. This is
what we saw last week, wasn't it, against Geelong? They dominated after quarter time, but really did struggle in front of goal, which is interesting because last year their in front of goal percentage was quite good. So it's something they really need to work on because they're absolutely dominating games, not finishing on the scoreboard. It just deflates teams.
Deflates them. How often do you see in finals too, boys, that even in the grand final, if you go back and have a look over the last 10 years, quite often the side that wins didn't have the most inside 50s or scoring shots.
Yeah, poor kicking really hurts in finals.
Broadbent attacks it.
Sorry, Moons.
Still got it.
Is that a dig by you two up there?
Dump.
You kept winning flags anyway, Moons.
Yeah, you've had your fair share. No digs for you, Moons. You're too big.
And angry.
Jacobs, beautiful palm down. Lions inside 50. Walker. Well played. Carlisle used his chest to edge him under the ball.
Now that's all right. Cam O'Shea got there. We'll put weight on this play, which is a good tackle.
Gray.
Cam O'Shea, you see when that ball went in, it was Alapati Carlisle spoiled his opponent, but Cam O'Shea really needs to get there and be the third man up spoiled. You can't rely solely, although you want them to, you can't rely on your key defenders spoiling a key attacker in a one-on-one every time.
Ellis Yeoman does brilliantly to Douglas. Gets it to the square. And it'll roll out of play again. There's some one-on-ones out there that have carried through from previous showdowns. Betts Impey, it's been a good one over time. And Lobe and Jacobs.
Yeah, none bigger than that, Dwayno. These two have got a real fierce rivalry. Both redheads, both 26, and both really wanting to be the state's #1 ruckman.
Well, it's nice to see.
Both redheads.
Although Paddy Ryder might try and come and have a bit of an input into that mantle as well if he gets on a roll.
Oh, I just like the both redheads bit.
Yeah, whether you can play Paddy Ryder, even if he's available round one, whether he can play on the preparation that he's had.
Oh, I think he's had a big summer by all reports.
Yep.
He's fitter than ever.
But no competitive games.
Yeah. Well,
he could be the most important player in the comp. Paddy
think
Ryder. Fair enough to say he's not the best. Close, but not the best. But he could be the most important player in the comp.
I think he could be the difference between where they finished last year and going all the way with, if they have their luck.
Scrambled forward, straight through Walker. Carlisle gets there. Jenkins got there first. Kept it alive to Van Berlo. Flicks it out, right. Gets it to Bend. Oh, crunch. There you go. Lady Murner. That's what it's about. Gee, I'm not sure that was 50, was it? That was a marking contest.
It was out. The umpire believes that the ball was far enough out that the player knows his boundaries.
But the player watches the ball in the air. He doesn't know where the boundary line is. He's watching the ball all the way in the air.
That's an incorrect decision.
I love your get out of jail card you've just handed.
You would have played it.
No,
I'd have played it the
Yeah, you
same
would have
way
played
he
it,
did, but I
yeah.
would have known what I was doing. Just disguise. It's called a disguise. To lay a bit of wood on it.
I think he was genuinely going for the ball.
But if one player's allowed to go for the mark and he's standing under it, surely the other player's allowed to go for it too.
It was always going out of bounds, and you can't tell me these blokes who are precision instruments in the world of football, he didn't know he was 2 metres over the boundary when he needed him in the back.
Wines kicks wide. Westhoff can't quite half volley it. Yeah, Ellis Yeoman's got him again.
That's a great tackle. You mentioned Ellis Yeoman, he's playing for his spot. Now, ability will dictate at the end of the day whether you make it or not. But there's one non-negotiable, and that is application, dedication, with the absolute fervour for which you apply tackles and the harder things. And he's giving everything he's got at the moment.
And there he is on cue, getting out to right. Van Berlo, who did not play a game last year. Taylor Walker, Honch.
Hit your feet.
And he just slips him. He threw it away as he was grabbed, and luckily Taylor Walker couldn't keep hold of the jumper. Inboard to Boak. Now they've got the space opened up. There the run comes to use it. Pittard.
Talking about Ryder Doom being the most important player in the comp in his own way, he's definitely going to be the best second ruckman.
Oh, no doubt.
Isn't he?
Yeah, no doubt. I'll just have a chat after he spoils this over the boundary. The thing with Paddy is we always got the impression that, I won't say the Sooks, but he always wanted to be the #1 ruckman at Essendon. That's where he thought he played his best footy. But because of size and shape and because of his capabilities as a key forward, he's probably best suited for a team's prospects as second ruck, starting as a key forward. Will he willfully want to do that behind Lobe?
Young. Good tap down steal. Boak to the pocket. Westhoff caught 3 deep. Got it down. Sam Gray. Spins around the body nicely. Opens it up. Need. Goal square. Just knocked across the face nicely in the end by Brodie Smith.
It's going to be him or Johnny Butcher that play. They're going to end up with Ryder, Lobe, Westhoff, Schultz. That'll rotate through there. Yep. Or Butcher gets a game and Ryder doesn't.
So the thing is, as I'm saying, is that he might just say, I want to be #1 ruckman.
And you know what? He may well be.
Well, the other question there then, Rue and Dermy, is can Lobe go forward and do that role if he needs to?
Look, I don't think Ryder will be doing 70% of the ruck work. You know, Lobe's too good a player.
That's what he wants.
He's a very, very good ruckman, Matty Lobe.
Absolutely.
And he did too much work last year. That's why he tired out. So he'll be even better with it. He's a bit fresher.
Well, what it's done is also hardened Lobe, as we can see here today. He's a tough kid. He's only young for a ruckman, but he's already hardened and toughened.
Crows are out. Crouch. McKay. Port Adelaide getting the cavalry back. And that was clever. Dragged him down. Hold the play up. Get players back.
When you've got 2 good ruckmen and you're up against a side that's got 1 good ruckman,
you
can really tire them out. And you know, they come on fresh. A great second ruckman comes on fresh and they just jump into them. And gee, the midfield, they grow a leg because they start running wider. They get better taps to clearer spaces. It can really open up the clearances.
Kane Mitchell.
What's the hair department doing now, Dwayne, with young Kane?
He's still got the bun, or the Shintaro, as you like to call it. Butcher from 4 deep. There's a few running with the Shintaro this year. Various ponytails, buns. Eddie Betts jumps from 4 deep. Van Berlo into the deck. Mitchell. Pittard's just got the headband, which is nice, and the long hair flowing.
I'm not so sure. I'm having to deal with a son at home sporting a Shintaro.
Gray. Schultz.
Oh, well done.
And that's brilliant. That's old style. Hands it off to Polek.
Keep going, keep going.
White.
Oh, he turned the wrong way. He could have just about...
Mitchell. He's run all the way from the back pocket. And Laird got there. Read it well.
They've hemmed him in here, though. They're not allowing the outlet kick, and they're forcing Adelaide to go down the line here.
Wine stands under it.
That's a free kick.
Yeah, that's the new rule, Derm. Explain that.
That's the other rule that the umpires said. If there is a 2-man contest going for the ball, or if the one fellow decides to take a step off his line to angle or deny a player going for the mark in a marking contest, he will be done for obstruction.
Wines to Need. Corns. Carlisle. Broadbent. Mitchell. Ebert. On 50. Only for 6, but they'll take it. Butcher shepherds it through.
Good play. Squared the ball up across the half-forward line and had a runner down the other side. Ebert came from the back flank. He started on that last passage of play when the ball moved forward in the back of the centre square and came forward with it.
He's an A-grade runner, Brad Ebert. Don't worry about that. Ollie Wines, you didn't see it, but he was the one who got the ball through the middle of the ground.
See him still going around the back there. Yep. He's come from that opposite point of the square.
Yep, and straightened up off 2 feet. That's a good lesson for kids out there watching. Straighten up, know what space you've got, and kick through the ball.
And prepares himself well. Played every game the last 3 seasons, Brad Ebert.
Yeah, another bit of good recruiting, Dwayne.
Absolutely. His kicking's improved at Port Adelaide as well. West Coast had questions on it.
Yeah, I reckon your fitness does that. I reckon when you're a fitter player, your skills go up with it. I reckon when you get tired, your skills drop off.
That's a really good point, that. Rather than kicking with fatigue, Impey does well. A little 1-2 at need.
That was Eddie Betts in the square. There he is, Eddie on cue. Gave Eddie a run on the ball for that bounce down.
And Adelaide will be hoping the same thing happens with them, Dwayne. They're fitter this year. They've had the, I mean...
Where's the ceiling, Ruth? Everyone says we're getting fitter every year.
He's gone on record, said they've worked as hard as any club he's ever been at, and he's been at Port Adelaide for the last couple of years.
So you went and pinched someone from Port Adelaide because they was the fittest team in the competition?
Well, he's an ex-fitness coach and a coach,
yes.
So he can save some money. The soft cap's in.
In fact, he's spent more years at Port Adelaide than Ken Hinkley has. Philip Walsh. He was there in the Mark Williams era, of course, the premiership years. Westhoff flies.
Well done, Talia. Got the body in front.
Young went down low. Need. That's probably ball. He just got it off. No, he didn't.
Holding the ball. Or throw. Yeah, I just wonder, because every team says we're fitter this year. There must be a ceiling where the human body can't get any fitter,
That's
Ruth.
when the hamstring snaps off the bone.
So that's when you know you're right at the absolute threshold.
Yeah, look, they are getting more elite every year, though, aren't they? I mean, they train hard, they carry less fat. They certainly very, very professional.
Carlisle, good fist on Sloan. Took him down and took the Sharon. Wines inboard. Young, he's got need. About to get caught. Back to Young. Keeps it in front. Space opens up. Little kick to Butcher. And this will test him. So he opens up the angle and sinks it in. This is a good contest.
Absolutely it is. They're going flat out. They want to get right for round one. And Port Adelaide 4-1 to the Crows 3-5. This is an...
Watch this. Now, there's nothing more than a big backman likes. He hit the ball, but he was thinking, I'm going to put body into the back of this kid, and I'm going to body spoil him, and I'm going to make sure he doesn't want to stand under it next time.
I reckon that's as hard as you can hit someone and get away with it.
Yeah, because his arms were up at the ball and big. Well, he's 105 kilos, and he's just full throttle. His chest has gone into the back of Rory Sloane's head and spoiled his body as well. So really good play. It's one of those situations. It's like, you know, it's bowling bounces at tail enders. It's just an easy shot and you're allowed to do it.
You're a sitting duck, aren't you?
Tom Cleary and Paul Stewart, the subs, as you saw, with Butcher on the bench now. Adelaide by a point.
And you know Rory Sloane's going to stand under it all day long.
Broad bent long. So Westhoff forward now. Ball to the back. Robbie Gray held, according to the umpire.
It's worth another look, that.
Not a bad first quarter for Robbie Gray, coming up for possession number 12 and 2 goals.
Gee, certainly has come back magnificently after that serious knee injury a little while ago in his career. He's well, we say it. All through last year. He's elite.
I reckon his season last year, Dan, was the best I've seen from a midfielder ever in Adelaide.
In Adelaide.
Yep.
It's high praise from Mark Rasciuto,
isn't it?
He was superb last year, but the only thing that's going to stop him from going even better this year is last year they were still tagging Travis Boak. They weren't tagging Robbie Gray, but I reckon his ability to win a game, win the ball in tight, is better than anyone at Port Adelaide now. I think he's the best midfielder they've got, and that's saying something when you got Travis Boak out there. So
Robbie Gray's a true 6-footer, Rookie Henderson's around the 6'2" mark.
He's Gary Ablett Mark II, is what he is.
And he's able to body Henderson away from the drop of the ball, and Henderson clawed on there, which drew the free kick for holding.
He's a brilliant forward pocket, and the last 2 years he's finally got his body right and his fitness up to midfield standards, so now he can get plenty of the ball. Before that, he was playing as a permanent forward and being a super dangerous sort of forward pocket, but now he goes into the middle and just carves them up.
That's the fitness aspect, isn't it?
Yep, that's the Darren Burgess.
Oh, here we go again.
Bit on top.
He's fitter again.
He is.
Kane Mitchell. Ellis Yeoman. Mitchell keeps it alive. We're down to 40 seconds and it rolls out. People look at Gary Ablett's 1,000 goals that he kicked in his career and think he was a forward the whole time, because a lot of his big marks were on 50, inside 50, but he played wing for a number of years.
And the extraordinary thing was, as a winger, he still kicked 5 or 6 from the wing occasionally, and then the next week he mightn't touch it. So he's packed all that 1,000 into about 60% of his career.
I was saying Gary Ablett Jr.
Oh, right, okay.
Confused, but...
I liked your first analysis.
Well, maybe in between junior and senior.
Pick either.
Polak inboard. Now, Kane Corns doesn't quite have the leg, perhaps.
What are we, 17 seconds?
He's going to have to kick it, though.
Won't even make the top of the square.
Ladies' tees. He's pulled the kick.
To Westhoff. Pulled it to the pocket. Didn't quite bring it down.
It's a good quarter of footy.
Yep. Real good.
It swung both ways. Port got the early ascendancy, then the Crows, and then Port struck back in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
It's been quality. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around the land. NAB Challenge round 3 game here from AAMI Stadium. And don't forget tonight, the Bulldogs and Collingwood live on Fox Footy as well. That's from Etihad Stadium. A footy feast as NAB Challenge round 3 continues after this break. They are taking it seriously this afternoon here at AAMI Stadium. Adelaide Crows up against Port Adelaide. Showdown light. These two teams meet in round 5, the first showdown of 2015, but it's been outstanding, the commitment from both teams so far today. Their last hit out before their round 1 encounters. Port Adelaide by 5 points after the Crows did take the lead. Tex Walker with a monster super goal as well on the run. And Robbie Gray, 13 possessions in the opening term, and Cam Ellis-Yeoman, playing to be in the round 122, has also had plenty of it. We're about to hear from Cam Mooney shortly, and Scott Camporelli is down there with him right now.
Thanks, Dwayne. Scotty, fantastic start from you guys around the ball. Saw you talking to the midfielders. The winning clearances, the winning contested ball, you'd be pretty happy with how they've started.
Yeah, no, we started pretty well. I mean, Jacobs has given us first use, which is always nice. You know, that last 2 or 3 minutes, we lost a little bit of control, but certainly the ground ball war and clearance war, we were on top.
Shooting for goal just was a little bit of a problem last week. Was see there to get in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, it's pretty blustery. As you know, mate, they're not trying to miss, so hopefully we can hit them and put a bit more pressure on them.
Brad Crouch has come. He's been subbed off. It looks like a left foot. Is he okay?
Yeah, we're not sure. They're still trying to test him out, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Thanks for your time, Scotty. Good luck.
Thank you, Cam Mooney. Roo, just put it to you. The thing I would like to see Adelaide do a whole lot better at the moment is retain the footy. They're giving it away a little bit easy. Their kicking efficiency's a bit down at the moment. I know you can pump it up by, you know, manufacture a better score by making sure the ball goes over 50 metres, but it has to go to advantage.
Well, you can't kick at 51% efficient and be a good side. They've only had 6 marks for a quarter compared to Port Adelaide's 20, so that backs up your point that they're not hitting their targets either. So, yeah, they need to improve in that area as well as goal kicking. So, gee, Brad Crouch, if that's a bad injury, that is a disaster.
Yeah, you don't want him now. You don't want him any time.
Extra week off still to come for these two clubs, obviously, with no football next weekend, but what him fit the Adelaide Crows for their round 1 contest against North Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval.
Rory Sloane starts forward.
5-point lead to Port Adelaide start this second term. Lobe in the ruck against Jacobs. That's been a fantastic battle. Wines. Dangerfield on hands and knees again. Wines. Boak. Gray. 13 possession first term. He finds White. Had the speed to find space.
There's only 2 key forwards for Port Adelaide at the moment.
Schultz is one of them. Crunch. Talia got it down. West off. Shrugged one tackle. Flicked it towards White. Thought he was there. Wasn't there. Dangerfield.
Good
caught.
numbers.
Hands free. Ellis Yeoman. West off. Tried the tricky palm down. Right. Tried the tricky kick.
Tell you what, that rule about less prior opportunity, it's certainly throw out in front. It's certainly rushing a few little short kicks, isn't it? The ball's pinging around and getting turned over a little bit more than normal. Good run.
Laird to Van Berlo to the open side. Douglas, and it sits for him. He's away. Walker's in a good spot here. Carlisle's under the ball. Thought about it, did Tex, taking off.
I reckon he got the one step they allow you, the umpire. If he took another one, it would have been play on.
Yeah, you can crib a step or two when you're already on the back pedal. Just slow yourself down really cautiously.
That one where he's marked the ball, and he's got 2 steps. If he's able to swing around and get a shot at goal 3 metres out, even on that angle, and just get pushed in the back and dribble it, I actually preferred that one to a set shot.
And the Crows are back in front.
When you're a beautiful kick of the footy, you don't have to worry about sharp angles and these nagging. That's like a 3-foot putt, that one, that sort of angle for 15 metres out. So you see this here. That's really hard running from Douglas to come from the opposite end of the ground. So Tex has got this. What I'm saying is, yes, 1, 2 quick ones, and a little quick drop punt. Yeah, from about 3 or 4 metres out. Skim it along the grass. Don't dribble it. Skim it. Just a foot above surface. It's a very easy kick. And accept that you're going to be pushed in the back and flat on your face, but you make sure of the goal.
Lobie and Jacobs again. Jacobs. Ellis Yeoman. West off. Throws that.
That was lucky.
Not clearing the tackle of the umpire. Thought Betts to Brown. Walker edged out nicely. Off hands. Douglas has the speed. Keeps it low. This should bounce.
Great goal. Now, the way this game's been played at the moment, that's a big, big win for Adelaide, because Adelaide are playing an extra man behind the ball. They're playing 6 defenders against 5 forwards. That 6th forward from Port Adelaide is coming up to the wing and breaking straight into the centre. And yet...
That's holding the ball.
Yeah, and yet the Crows take the ball away when they're 1 less for numbers around the footy. So it's a big, big win.
See the Matty Wright pick up there. That is a great lesson for young forwards. When your power forward leads at the ball, be the next man in behind the defender. Be the 3rd man in line. It's amazing how often the ball goes over the top of the 2 leading players. And if you're next in line, quite often you can get an easy mark or ball off the ground.
Good dive in Wines. Gray and West off a nice 1-2. Lobie. Jacobs. West off. Dangerfield. Gray somehow. Wines. They get it to 50. Gets it off to White. Douglas flicks it back. And no prior there. Jonas will hand it over. Bright sunshine, blue sky, 26 degrees, ideal conditions, and the crowd enjoying every minute of it. Ellis Yeoman. Outstanding first term. We talked about it. He was a pick 64 back in 2011. This is his 4th season on the Crows list. And he wants to make a statement this year. Started well. Walker. Right.
Clever.
Lynch. Wait to see what the options are. Goes back to go forward. Into the space. Eddie Betts. Kept it in front. Ebert read it well. Boak. And now on the open side. Wines. White. West off. And he shrugs that attempted tackle. Squeezes inside 50 to Butcher. Need gets the crumb. Flicks it up towards Butcher. Laird comes at him hard. Sloan. Jacobs. This is an outstanding contest at the moment. Wright is on the open side. He can run if he wants to. Takes some time. Goes long to Walker. Carlisle.
Oh, that's
Walker.
a super effort.
Shrugs a couple.
That
feeds it
awesome.
back to Douglas. Long towards Eddie Betts. He could sit on shoulders. Eddie stays down, plays for the free. Doesn't get it. Still steals it. Still kicks it around the body. Easy goal. This is outstanding. And it's only NAB challenge.
That is, Tex Walker, take a bow, because if ever there was a kick that was placed to the opposition's advantage, it was completely to Alapati Carlisle's advantage, and he's a monster. Tex is to the inside, so Buffett gets him moved past the drop of the ball.
Caught it.
Yeah, angles the hand to get it back to his own advantage, fends off Carlisle, fends off a second pursuer. Handballs out the back. That is super.
Eddie
just
was pretty good
footy.
too. Have a look at Eddie. He's outnumbered. So
he's got 3 there around him, Eddie. And the pass to Lynch.
Well, that's just good footy, isn't it?
That's super, and that's agility. But you can only do what Tex did if you're built a certain way and you have a certain amount of power, and that's a rarity
And
to be
skill.
able. Oh,
Footy
super.
skill.
Yep.
Clearance from Grigg. Jenkins. Caught. Broadbent gets back. Bouncing ball. Chaney. New recruit. Wants to make an impression as well. He does well here. Beaten a couple of times in the opening term. Finds Brodie Smith.
You know him better than most. Is he a good pickup for Adelaide? For sort of a third tall defender?
He is what I would call in league footy one of the super honest citizens. Yeah, I think he's a good pickup. He'll die having a go for you.
Yep.
He's not blessed with a 6'3" height or 6'4". He's a 6'1.5", 6'2".
So he can't be the second big defender. He can pick up the third tall forward.
If he's playing against a... Got the option. Yep, he's going to take the full advantage. Make sure of it. Yep. So back on to Kyle Chaney. Yeah, I think he's a good pickup. He couldn't get a game in the best team that's dominated the competition. It was one of the last 2 premierships. So he should be a walk-up start for 14, 15 other teams.
He was fighting for a position against Josh Gibson.
So close.
He's the same as Josh Gibson player.
So close. Yep.
Gerard Polek.
Ooh.
Normally better than that.
Maybe should have gone the Niner.
Henderson to kick in. Every player squeezed into one half for this kick in, as you can see. Jacobs his target, and Sloan drops in front. Van Berlo, and the release kick is perfect. Jenkins, that's okay.
Good
Walker,
miss.
nice little turn, and Lynch.
Texas just moves. He's playing down in front of you. He's putting on a clinic on that flank.
Look, he's just talking about that big contest you were talking about before. This is after he was over the other side of the ground and made that huge effort on the other side of the ground. Ran over, big hit on Paddy Carlisle to get that ball to ground, and then did what he did. And at the moment, look, he's just been brilliant. He's just come off for a rest, and a well-deserved rest of that. He's great. Down here, it's incredible to watch. I love watching him play.
Yeah, one was just pure power, and that last effort was just pure touch.
The biggest lead of the game to the team. Only a behind.
Plus, I don't know him well, but he just seems like a good bloke, Tex. Look at that little shimmy, just to throw him off, give him a half second, left foot, caresses the ball perfectly in front.
If there's a stereotype bloke from Broken Hill, that's Tex.
Ebert kept that alive.
I think Rue's even happy that he went on the board then, but even when he got seen in the crowd having a beer when he wasn't playing, you kind of like that, don't you?
I don't think there's anything wrong with a beer at the right time.
Oh, you've asked a bloke who owns 6 pubs. Is there anything wrong with having a beer?
Not on match day.
He's got a bloke on the subs list you recruited from the front bar in Port Lincoln. Is he playing later on, Kenan Ramsey?
Kenan Ramsey, yeah, well, he's a Port supporter as well.
From Port Lincoln.
A one-eyed Port supporter.
That'll change quick.
Free kick to Lynch.
Bit fierce.
The Crows are a better forward line with Tom Lynch in it as well, because he pushes up the ground and allows Tex to stay
Jenkins
back and be closer to goal. Because even last week, I think when they played Geelong, the commentary was saying that Tex was down at half back and I don't think you want your best forwards at half-back. I think you want your best forwards within striking range.
One thing you don't want is the likes of Jared Pollock taking on Josh Jenkins.
That's
a 107. I reckon if they're saying he's 107, he should put the other foot on. He's 110 kilos. He's a big, big man. And Jared Pollock's not a short midfielder, but he's not a powerful one, and he can't match him with that sort of incoming ball.
Kicked 40 goals, 26 last year, Josh Jenkins.
Not with that.
Got his run up wrong there, didn't he?
Skip.
Yeah. 43 disposals to 27 in this second quarter. Port have had 9 kicks only to Adelaide's 25.
And only operating at 44%.
Pittard, Jonas, O'Shea, Ebert. They work it outside 50 with handball virtually. Matt White inboard. Well worked. Corn sees Young running. Well, he's got options aplenty. Butcher's one of them. Oh, bang. Good contest. Knocked it out of play. Kyle Chaney.
Terms boy.
14 games for Melbourne, 27 for Hawthorn.
That's what he'll do. He'll charge at the footy. Just a good professional league footballer.
Adelaide used picks 31 and 50 to get him from the Hawks over summer. Boak. Wines. Corns. Boak about to get caught. Did he drop it? Or was holding the man? One of the two. Lobe.
One of the two.
Was that for him and Loudon, Dwayne? Or
Might have been, yep. How's Loudon? He was injured because of the One Direction concert, wasn't he?
Don't know about where you got that information from. But
Well, didn't you have to train on a hard ground because your training base was taken over by...
I think they all train there, but
Right.
Yeah.
bit touchy about the hard decks, the modern players, aren't they?
Yeah.
Who's going to argue? What Adelaide Crows players going to argue with Mark
He's a massive
Massuda?
unit, Loudon, though. He's an absolute monster, Derm. Another one of your boys. But hopefully he can add something when he gets fit.
Grigg caught high.
It's funny, Roo, you're talking about how Walker was caught up the ground against Geelong a couple of times last week. Yep. Well, you can see that they've actually spoken about it because he's sending everybody else up to make sure that he's the last man in that line.
And so he should. That's what Tom Lynch is there to do.
So as Cheney and Loudon went to the Adelaide Crows for pick 31 and pick 50, all thrown in together. It's people say, well, Kyle Cheney's worth more than that, and he is. But the fact is, when you've got a team that's on top of the ladder, and Kyle Cheney's a good professional player, he comes at a price. He has a salary, and when you're on top and he's second in line for a position, there's the likes of Josh Gibson, and you do need to get a bit of salary cap relief. So that's what forces someone like Kyle Cheney to a lower-ranked team. He's intended to keep the competition even.
Broad bent long. Robbie Gray feeding back. And it rolls out of play. I'm sure you didn't want to give Kennedy to the Sydney Swans, but because of salary cap situations, you had to.
Well, take him back now.
Josh, yeah, absolutely.
But the only mistake you've made with recruiting Hawthorn for a while.
He's done a pretty good job, Graham Wright, at the Hawthorn, hasn't he?
Unbelievable.
Comes free, McKay.
The boy they got from Port's pretty good too, Burgoyne.
Yeah, Douglas. Yeah, Brian Lake's been okay. 2 years, 2 flags, that'll do. Pollock squeezes it back inboard. And Butcher takes the mark.
He's a good pick. You saw this kid Pollock, and he had talent, didn't play many games at Brisbane, didn't get himself fit. So Port Adelaide look at it and say, let's put him in his home environment. We'll bring him home. We'll train him up the way we want him. And he gets onto it here. And he's got a beautiful touch with his feet. And as you see, it threads the eye of the needle to Kent Butcher, who mightn't do the same. We hope so. Yes.
John Butcher slots it.
I said Kent Butcher. I played with him 15, 20 years ago at Collingwood. John Butcher. Thank you, Dwayne.
He was an 82% goal kicker in his first 2 seasons. Kicked 11-1 first season, 11-4 second season. That's why there is a lot of talk about whether it is mental or whether it is the ball drop that affects him.
They reckon he kicks them at training, no worries, Dwayne.
Yeah.
They said that about Lindsay Thomas too when he didn't kick a goal for
that's true.
quite some time. They said everything's going perfect at training.
And now he's fixed
he's
it up,
come good.
so it's mental. You would
West.
think.
There's a bit of lack of action there with John and Butcher, though.
Good tackle. Broadbent was free there. Eddie Betts just crept up. Polak didn't know it was his for a second, had to go, and then made the commitment. Kane Corns. Kane Mitchell. Gee, Schultz has got a couple to beat here. He's kicked it to Talia.
That's the problem with only having two big key forwards down the line to look at. Schultz has come too close up. John Butcher's trying to hold inside 50. I've got it on the brain now, thanks to you. John Butcher's trying to hold inside 50. So the kick that clears Schultz is pretty easily picked off by one of Adelaide's taller defenders.
He does have to read that a lot better, though, Butcher. He has to come up on that one. It's fair to say, he wants to be there in 450, but when you have that much space in front of you, you've got to come up and make sure you cover the space that Schultz has left for you, and you allow them smalls to run into that space that you've created behind you.
And that's just work ethic, Moons?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably a little bit of smarts as well. He just needs to learn, and that comes with experience.
Need, he wants to turn inside. Got the short, and Schultz. This will be for 9, and he's got the leg on him. Oh, had an accident at training this week, didn't he, Rude? The barbell fell on his face.
Who's that?
So Schultz.
Didn't hear that one.
I think he took a bit of skin off, fat lip.
What, he was doing a bench press?
Nose, yeah, it dropped on his nose, I think.
Fairly good. Yeah, get a look at that, boys. Hone in. Oh, yeah. It's a bit fat.
This is for 9. This is for the lead. Didn't hit it.
You're like myself, Dwayne. You have the young son who all they do is scour the internet for funny things. He's like one of those gymnasium things gone wrong when you see machines drop on people's heads and barbells and the likes. You had one of them.
Oh, I wonder where you were going there with that, Dermot, but all okay.
No, we're all clear on that.
Pass inside 50. Just overcooked it a little. Brown. In fact, it's Henderson took the mark.
They've seized up a bit, haven't they? Port Adelaide are getting a bit more run through the field. And the Crows are just trying to pinpoint passes now, get out of trouble.
Port with the numbers around it. Sam Gray. Young. Stole it. Wasn't his. Made something out of nothing.
He can play, Aaron Young. He just needs opportunity. He's just trying to break into a super midfield, Aaron Young. I think he'd be a starting player in a lot of other sides, but just needs an opportunity to get a bit more game time.
There's a window here for people like Aaron Young, though, isn't there, Roo? And that is, now this guy, like the Kyle Cheney's of this world, are going to command a pay packet that is got a bit of size to it for a bloke not playing in the first 22.
Well, Ben Newton left. He's gone to Melbourne for the exact same spot. He just couldn't quite break in.
But Aaron Young, who's similar positioned in his team, is still young enough that he's not costing that same pay packet, so they can keep him there rather than another team say, well, we'll pay you double your salary you're getting and you're going to get a guaranteed game every week. So they keep their list together and they find out more about him in the meantime.
Douglas finds Betts. Lynch. In a good seesawing contest, this. Both teams have had runs of 3 goals in a row. Ebert drops in the hole. Plays on quickly. Lobe, Wines, O'Shea, and Mitchell has some space. Short over the head of Robbie Gray, and he was dumped after. Play on advantage. Travis Boak misses.
Should have been a goal, but even once again, we saw the Eddie Betts kick go forward. We saw the Crows try and possess the ball by foot, and quite frankly, as we said at the start of this quarter, wait on this. Oh, yeah, a little shoulder block to the side of the head. That's a fair enough free kick. What?
I'm just seeing if Mark Rashido's face went white. That's all. It's just okay, that hip and shoulder?
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so they're trying to possess the ball by foot and they're not hitting the target.
Well, you have to hit the targets of that part of the ground. It just kills you if you turn your ball over in the centre square.
Oh, look out. Wine, strong man. Walker just hit his boot with it. Wines feeds it up. Need back to Wines on hands and knees. Carlisle, Mitchell, great tackle. Wines calls a turnover. Wasn't finished.
Moons, at ground level, are we seeing a little bit of... I know we say it, we probably make more of it than it really is. Port Adelaide's fitness, now we're halfway through this, or 3/4 of the way through the second quarter. Are they just starting to run over the top of them a little bit?
Well, we saw this in the first quarter, didn't we? We saw Adelaide really take control of the game and really get a bit of a lead, and then we saw Port Adelaide just come flying back late in that quarter. And this is what they do. Late in quarters, when everyone else tires, they keep coming and they put you under enormous pressure.
Henderson mops up his own mess. Cheney. Greg.
Adelaide right now have just got to slow the game down, Roo. They've just got to get control of the ball. You spoke about a couple of times, Jeremy. Yeah, they're not hitting targets, but just slow the ball, just slow the game down. This is what Port Adelaide want. They want it to go fast.
Play a bit safe.
Unless they're trying things in the NAB challenge that they wouldn't necessarily do in round one. Maybe just keep testing the fitness, keep pushing it to another level. Interesting poise. The whole NAB challenge has seen a lot of teams do things that they wouldn't necessarily do in the home and away season. Resting players, but they've played virtually full-strength teams, these two. Good mark to Homsch.
See Ollie Wines there when he gathered the ball. He got a big tackle from side on. It sort of budged him. Didn't move. He's just so powerful over the footy. Not a great kick.
And maybe fatigue kicking in for both teams.
Remember, this is the first game too, boys, that the quarters are as long as what they are in the home and away season. The first couple of weeks are a bit shorter, so they're naturally going to get tired when the quarter goes an extra 5 or 7 minutes.
Well, they're running into that unknown territory from what they've been used to for the entire season so far, with the entire practice match era.
Jonas, and we've got a interchange cap as well in round 3 that we haven't had previously. The same cap as we'll have in round 1, 120. And we're down to 24 players for this round 3 of the NAB challenge. You see Jay Schultz, little nick on the top of the nose. So 24 players, 18 on the field, obviously 4 interchange and 2 subs. And the Adelaide Crows have already used one of their subs. Brad Crouch is out, and Jake Kelly into the contest.
Well, Dwayne, you see Westhoff and Schultz on the bench at the moment, so Port Adelaide have got a very small forward line, both sitting at full forward. This is why they want to put pace in the game, because they're such a small unit up forward at the moment.
And Matt White, he has the pace, goes long. Sam Gray, goal square, 1 on 3.
Now, this will be interesting whether Adelaide, the Crows were able to run it out. Once again, they kick for touch.
Henderson did well there.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Moons. Johnny Butcher is the only one, I've got it on the brain, is the only key forward out there. And he's dragged Talia up into the centre square. So when the ball came in, it was a little agile player, 3 or 4 of them from Port Adelaide, against their Crows opponents.
Little flick to the leg of Wines. Polak. Sam Gray again.
Good check. He's dense, Kyle Cheney. He's like one of those real dense-bodied players.
Chunky?
Yeah, I reckon he'd take a bit of wind out of you if you ran into him. I don't know if you'd ever run into yourself, Roo. I would imagine it'd be very similar.
McKay had 3 converge on him. Pittard. Smith, crunch, dispossessed. Back to McKay. Laird, got a kick away. Lynch shrugged the tackle straight down the middle. That's great movement. Good strike from Lyons. Betts got to pay it on the line. Plays on quickly. Jacobs.
Little push on the Betts mark too. His teammate edged out. The umpire was caught in the wrong position to spot that one. Eddie did well, juggled it. The umpire said the second grab was inside the field of play.
He's actually too unselfish, Eddie Betts. He does kicks like that. I think he's better off going back, going around and kicking that on the left foot.
Than Jacobs kicking from here.
Yep, absolutely. Not saying Sauce is a bad kick, but Eddie should be able to kick that from on his left foot.
He's all right, Sauce, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good
sometimes.
kick. But Eddie's just too unselfish, which is I'd rather that than being too selfish.
So watch here. Now it's a little push. Hands in the back there from Dangerfield. on Jonas. Umpires not seen it. Yeah, that's a pretty simple kick, really, when you think about it, isn't it, for a little run-around snap.
Pollock caught, so had to kick it when he wanted to handball at Boak. O'Shea, Corns,
good run.
O'Shea, Young. They're coming at him. He toes it through the gap nicely. Just through Gray as well. Talia picks up. And they're on the move now, the Crows. Jacobs, 3 minutes left.
Loose forward. They've got to score from this.
Plenty of players ahead of the ball. Got virtually a 7-on-5. Douglas goes long. Taylor Walker.
Geez, that's the second great kick from Douglas inside 50 to Walker, isn't it? Just put it to his advantage both times.
I tell you what, he is, if they keep playing this game, because there were 2 sets of forwards closer to goal than Tex, and they stayed back. As soon as they saw Tex in a one-on-one with a lot of room around him, they held their position in the goal. So a lot of times when you're in that position where Tex was, you're thinking, is the full-back charging out? Is the full forward coming with him? I'm about to cop 30 stone in the back of the head. But they left him all that room. He's going to be difficult to stop if he gets that full agility back. And they play the game like this.
We better order another couple of boxes of number 13s for the merchandise shop, Roo. He's going to be massive for you this year.
Just got to keep him fit and get him back and get him confident. He's aggressive. He's one of those big forwards that are elite runners as well, like the best centre-half forwards, Wayne Carey, John O'Brien, Nick Revolt. They really cover the ground and they're hard to keep up with, and they tire out the defender. So like what you're saying, Doom, if you like that, you've got to give them space. You give them space, they wear out their opponent and they kick bags of goals. When they move the ball quickly through the middle and they're one-on-one, and don't allow a Josh Gibson or a Cole Chaney or a Tom Jonas to jump up.
So Alapati Carlisle's a beast. He's a man mountain.
He's a very
beast.
good fullback.
But he wants to be hemmed in with you inside 25. So if you get space to run him around, you're playing him on your terms.
Yeah. Cole Chaney first in pursuit of this. Young brought him down, stripped him of the ball. Wasn't high according to the umpire. Ball in. He's been a professional sub, Aaron Young, in the last 12 months. As Mark Rashido said, getting a chance at a full game today, but
good umpire.
Starting sub in 8 of his 14 games last year.
8 of 14, was he?
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation in itself, Dwayne. How many players, which players, what type of play you go for, and where in their careers and when you should make them the sub.
Carlisle caught.
He's taking a turn there. The umpire might ping him for this because he took a little blind turn in there. The umpire, good umpiring, because he didn't get a real shot.
Westhoff's behind the play for Port Adelaide. He's loose, and Ricky Henderson for Adelaide.
Young got it down to E, but he didn't have a lot to kick to, and it's either out on the full or Lyons takes the mark. The Crows might have the last say of the half. Henderson.
Go closer. Move it on. Play on.
Keeps it on the congested side. Even. So Port Adelaide a chance now.
Minute to go.
7 points the margin. Super goal would put them in front. He sits it up. Schultz doesn't get a chance to fly for it. Talia off hands. They had the numbers back. Dangerfield to the open side, and they've got plenty of space to use here. Lynch looks up, realises it. Sloan feeds wide for him.
So that sort of incoming ball for the two key target forward line. There's not a lot of potency for Port Adelaide on that play.
Douglas long, right perhaps, already bets. Right spills it, Ellis Yeoman caught. Jonas wrapped him up. O'Shea. Corns. Not 15. Westhoff. Wide for Homsch. A couple coming at him. 10 seconds left. Good smother. Still alive. Douglas rolls it out.
That's a good half of footy.
Very good. Very good footy.
Good scoring. We're halfway to 100.
Ollie Wines has had 0 kicks this quarter and 11 handballs.
Yeah. He stood out over it pretty well, hasn't he? He just gets those big thighs planted and feeds it out.
Half time in this last NAB challenge contest for these two clubs before round 1. Adelaide playing North Melbourne in round 1. Port Adelaide facing Fremantle in Perth, and they're probably getting exactly what they wanted out of this. Going out at 100% seesawing contest. Beautiful conditions for football. I hope you're enjoying it at home. Adelaide at the half by 7 points.